told Sierra Joughin, and Sierra Joughin was actually in college, and she had a boyfriend by the name of Josh. Josh always told Sierra's mother that they were going to get married one day, and they were so in love with each other, and it was so cute. So on this day took place on July 16th of 2016. And basically how it started was Sierra had purchased a bicycle from a garage sale, and she wanted to ride the bike to her boyfriend's home, which was 7 miles away. And she meets her mom at the end of their driveway, and that's when she tells her where she's going. When her mother got home that evening at 9:30, she noticed that the light in Sierra's room was out, but she did not think anything of it. She just thought, since her child was an adult, maybe she was still out with Josh. She didn't know. So she just went on about her day. At 10:30, Josh contacts Sierra's mother to let her know that he cannot get a hold of Sierra, and that she was there earlier, but she had left. And that is when the panic kind of started to set in. When officers do talk to Josh, he tells them that she was there and she was showing off her new bike, and she was telling him that that was her new workout equipment. So they ended up taking Josh's motorcycle out for a little ride, and then she went home. So they thought. At midnight, a officer is going down a road that is called County Road 6. And there is a little corn section on the side of the road that he notices is slightly odd, because it was tore down, kind of like making a little bit of a path anyway. So it got his attention, and that is when he decided to pull over and get out to see if there is anything else that is just strange to him. Once he starts looking, he does notice a couple strange things. The first one that they notice is the smell of gas is very strong. So that obviously got their attention, and then there was also a fuse box. A fuse box that was also laying My neighbor is mowing. Okay. We're back. We're back. Okay, so as they are questioning the community, a farmer informs the police that he was going down County Road 6 that same day, and he says that he notices a helmet like a bike helmet on the road, and he has his son jump out to get it and throw it in the back of the truck. And at that point, they realize there is a stain on the top of the interior and then also on the exterior. There was also a stain, so they were able to find out it was a blood stain. So that obviously needed to be kept as a piece of evidence, of course. Now, they figured, since they are assuming that it was a motorcyclist and not so much a car that was involved in this, they did want to question the boyfriend, because the boyfriend also says that not only was he the last to see her, but he says that they went for a ride that day before she went home as well. So, of course, they wanted to speak to him. He does allow them to search his property, and his truck, and also the motorcycle. However, they don't find anything. The only thing that they can find is a thing of overalls that had blood on them, but it was tested for animal blood, and it was from when he went deer hunting. And so basically they were pretty sure at that point he had nothing to do with this. It was just a coincidence that he took her for a ride that day, but at the same time that was normal for them. So it was just an unfortunate circumstance, but at least they were able to rule him out. Thank God. At this point, they decide their best bet is to look at the sex offenders that are around the area. And they end up finding one that lives fairly close by to the road that her bike was found at. Alright, I'm sorry y'all, but you are gonna have some background noise because they're getting closer and closer to my house. They were able to get an address for that man, and his name is James Worley. When they go to the property, they notice that it is one acre of land. There is the home that they reside in, and then there is random buildings and barns located around the whole property. So at this point, they ask him if he knows her. He says no. He gets very mad. He says that actually he states he's not into killing chicks. So I mean, it was just kind of odd, just his whole demeanor the whole time they were talking, and No. That's not how this works. If you give a police officer access to look through your property and they have a reason to believe that you are involved in something, they are going to look and take advantage of that access, and they will look through every single inch of that property if they have to, because it's their job. So, he does take them around, and they don't find anything in the home. But once they start going to the barns, things got kind of interesting. There was a barn in which he would fix vehicles and motorcycles and things of that sort there. And they then go into another barn, and they notice that something has been raked on the bottom. So basically the ground. So they wanted to know why he was raking the dirt that was on the ground. And they start moving some things and locate a green wood box. And it had a chicken coop wire wrapped all the way around it. And they did not know what was in there. But at that point, that is when James tells them, there's nothing else in here, come on, we'll go somewhere else. Which of course, like, now they're going to stay longer. Because now, I mean, you basically just, and without saying it, you're saying you don't want them to find something. They open up this box, and there is all kinds of women's lingerie. There's women's underwear, women's leggings, Daisy Duke shorts, panties, I mean, all kinds of things. Which they thought was obviously super strange. He also claims that these clothes were brand new, never worn, and that there was nothing wrong with buying women gifts. So that is how he explained that. However, they did locate blood stains on a pair of purple underwear that was in there. So how do you get blood stains on new underwear? It just didn't make sense. At this point, they do take him to the station for questioning, of course. And he claims that all of that stuff was in there because he was creating. Guys, ready for this one? He was creating a porn studio. Okay, they're not done. They're gonna go back to the home, and that is when they decided they're just going to move all of the hay out of that one barn and see if there's anything something you might want to come out here and see. There was something that was just odd to him, the way that it was located out in the field. So they decided they were going to start digging it up to see what was underneath there, because you could tell it was just